So welcome guys again. Today I'm taking on chapter 8. I actually did read the first page of chapter 8 with my daughter who wanted to be part of this. We made that a short video, so I'm just gonna continue from where we stopped. Maybe just take a paragraph before we stopped. On the third day, he asked his second wife, Achebe, to roast plantains for him. She prepared it the way he liked it, with slices of oil bean and fish. "You have not eaten for 2 days," said his daughter Achebe when she brought the food to him. "So you must finish this." She sat down and stretched her legs in front of her. Okonkwo ate the food absent-mindedly. She should have been a boy, he thought as he looked at his 10-year-old daughter. He passed her a piece of fish. "Go and bring me some cold water," he said. Achebe rushed out of the hut, chewing the fish, and soon returned with a bowl of cool water from the earthen pot in her mother's hut. Okonkwo took the bowl from her and gulped the water down. He ate a few more pieces of plantain and pushed the dish aside. "Bring me my bag," he asked, and Achebe brought his goatskin bag from the far end of the hut. He searched in it for his snuff bottle. It was a deep bag and took almost the whole length of his arm. It contained other things apart from his snuff bottle. There was a drinking horn in it and also a drinking gourd, and they knocked against each other as he searched. When he brought out the snuff bottle, he tapped it a few times against his kneecap before taking out snuff on the palm of his left hand. Then he remembered that he had not taken out his snuff spoon. He searched his bag again and brought out a small flat ivory spoon with which he carried the brown snuff to his nostrils. Achebe took the dish in one hand and the empty water bowl in the other and went back to her mother's hut. She should have been a boy, Okonkwo said to himself again. His mind went back to Ekemefuna and he shivered. If only he could find some work to do, he would be able to forget. But it was the season of rest between the harvest and the next planting season. The only work that men did at this time was covering the walls of their compound with new palm fronds, and Okonkwo had already done that. He had finished on it the very day the locusts came, when he had worked on one side of the wall and Ikemefuna and Moye on the other. When did you become a shivering old woman? Okonkwo asked himself. You who are known in all the 9 villages for your valor in war? How can a man who has killed 5 men in battle fall to pieces because he has added a boy to their number? Okonkwo, you have become a woman indeed. He sprang to his feet, hung his goatskin back on his shoulder, and went to visit his friend, Obierika. Obierika was sitting outside under the shade of an orange tree, making thatches from leaves of the raffia palm. He exchanged greetings with Okonkwo and led the way into his obi. "I was coming over to see you as soon as I finished that thatch," he said, rubbing off the grains of sand that clung to his thighs. "It is well." "Is it well?" Okonkwo asked. "Yes," replied Obierika. "My daughter's suitor is coming today, and I hope we will clinch the matter of the bride price. I want you to be there." Just then, Obierika's son, Maduka, came into the obi from outside, greeted Okonkwo, and turned towards the compound. "Come and shake hands with me," Okonkwo said to the lad. "Your wrestling the other day gave me much happiness." The boy smiled, shook hands with Okonkwo, and went into the compound. "He will do great things," Okonkwo said. "If I had a son like him, I should be happy. I am worried about Moye. A bowl of pounded yams could throw him in a wrestling match. His 2 younger brothers are more promising. But I can tell you, Obierika, that my children do not resemble me. Where are the young suckers that will grow when the old banana tree dies?" If Ezema had been a boy, I would have been happier. She has the right spirit. You worry yourself for nothing, said Obiorika. The children are still very young. Nwoye is old enough to impregnate a woman. At his age, I was already fending for myself. No, my friend, he's not too young. A chick that will grow into a cock can be spotted the very day it hatches. I have done my best to make Nwoye grow into a man, but there is too much of his mother in him. Too much of his grandfather, Obiorika thought, but he did not say it. The same thought also came to Okonkwo's mind, but he had long learned how to lay that ghost. Whenever he thought of his father's weakness and failure troubled him, he expelled it by thinking about his own strength and success. And so he did now. His mind went to his latest show of manliness. I cannot understand why you refused to come with us to kill that boy, he asked Obiorika. Because I did not want to, Obiorika replied sharply. I had something better to do. You sound as if you question the authority and the decision of the oracle who said he should die. I do not. Why should I? But the oracle did not ask me to carry out its decision. I do not. Why should I? But the oracle did not ask me to carry out its decision. Very poignant. But someone had to do it. If we were all afraid of blood, it would not be done. And what do you think the oracle would do then? You know very well, Okonkwo, that I am not afraid of blood. And if anyone tells you that I am, he is telling a lie. And let me tell you one thing, my friend. If I were you, I would have stayed at home. What you have done would not please the earth. It is the kind of action for which the goddess wipes out whole families. The earth cannot punish me for obeying his messenger, Okonkwo said. A child's fingers are not scalded by a piece of hot yam which its mother puts in its palm. That is true, Obiorika agreed. But if the oracle said that my son should be killed, I would neither dispute it nor be the one to do it. They would have gone on arguing had Ofuedu not come in just then. It was clear from his twinkling eyes that he had important news. But it would be impolite to rush him. Obiorika offered him a little bit of the kola nut he had broken with Okonkwo. Ofuedu ate slowly and talked about the locust. When he finished his kola nut, he said, "The things that happen these days are very strange." "What has happened?" asked Okonkwo. "Do you know Ogwefi Ndulwe?" Ofuedu asked. Ogwefi Ndulwe of Aire village, Okonkwo and Obiorika said together. "He died this morning," said Ofuedu. "That is not strange. He was the oldest man in Ire," said Obiorika. "You're right," Ofuedu agreed. "But you ought to ask why the drum has not beaten to tell Umuafia of his death." "Why?" asked Obiorika and Okonkwo together. "That is the strange part of it. You know his first wife who walks with a stick? Yes, she is called Ozoemena." "That is so," said Ofuedu. "Ozoemena was, as you know, too old to attend to Ndulwe during his illness. His younger wives did that. When he died this morning, one of these women went to Ozoemena's hut and told her. She rose from her mat, took her stick and walked over to the Obi. She knelt on her knees and hands on the threshold and called her husband, who was laid on a mat. Ogwefi Ndulwe, she called 3 times and went back to her hut. When the youngest wife went to call her again to be present at the washing of the body, she found her lying on the mat, dead." "That is very strange indeed," said Okonkwo. "They will put off Ndulwe's funeral until his wife has been buried. That is why the drum has not been beaten to tell Umuafia. It was always said that Ndulwe and Ozoenema had one mind. I remember when I was a young boy, there was a song about them. He could not do anything without telling her. I did not know that, said Okonkwo. I thought he was a strong man in his youth. He was indeed, said Ofwedo. Okonkwo shook his head doubtfully. He led Umuafia to war in those days, said Obiorika. Okonkwo was beginning to feel like his old self again. All that he required was something to occupy his mind. If he had killed Ikemefuna during the busy planting season or harvesting, it would have not been so bad. His mind would have been centered on his work. Okonkwo was not a man of thought, but of action. But in the absence of work, talking was the next best. Soon after Ofwedu left, Okonkwo took up his goat skin bag to go. I must go home to tap my palm trees for the afternoon, he said. Who taps your tall trees for you? Asked Obiorika. Umezulike, replied Okonkwo. Sometimes I wish I had not taken the Ozo title, said Obiorika. It wounds my heart to see these young men killing palm trees in the name of tapping. It is so indeed, Okonkwo agreed, but the law of the land must be obeyed. I do not know how we got that law, said Obiorika. In many other clans, a man of title is not forbidden to climb the palm tree. Here we say he cannot climb the tall tree, but can tap the short one standing on the ground. It is like Digaragana, who would not lend his knife for cutting the dog meat because the dog was taboo to him, but offered to use his teeth. I think it is good that our clan holds the Ozo title in high esteem, said Okonkwo. In those other clans, you must speak of Ozo. It's so low that every beggar takes it. I was only speaking in jest, said Obiorika. In Abame and Aninta, the title is worth less than 2 cowries. Every man wears the thread